joining us for our afternoon session of our wellness webinar for the month of December, Creating a Healthy Holiday Season. My name is Corey Wise. I'm Margaret on your on the chat feature, but I'm one of the wellness coordinators here at Florida Healthcare Plans, and I work in the Health Promotion and Wellness Department here in the Mason Avenue building. So our speaker today is Lisa Dante. She is a licensed mental health counselor with Florida Healthcare Plans Behavioral Health Services. She's a favorite presenter of ours. We always love to work with Lisa, and so we're excited to have her with us.
Today's little webinar is going to focus on looking at ways that we can ease our stress during the holidays and figuring out ways to set realistic expectations for the holiday season in general, and to figure out how we can be more present and mindful as we go through the holidays. And there are any number of ways that we can do that. And when I did this webinar earlier today, I started off with the realistic expectations because we had a very funny beginning, because best intentions, best laid plans, just like some of our holiday planning, right? You can have glitches. Things can go wrong. Things cannot go as we believe they should. And those are opportunities for growth or to be upset. So, when it comes to the holidays, we have a lot of history behind us. We have traditions with our families. And we usually have a lot of unspoken shoulds, right? Well, mom should make that casserole that she makes every year because it's not Christmas without it. And we should go over to Aunt Susie's house after we open presents because that's the way we always do it. And there's usually this long list of unspoken shoulds that for most people, the shoulds create a stressor that they don't even recognize. And so I'll challenge each of you to start paying attention to that internal dialogue that you have. And when you hear yourself saying the word should, to just cue in to what comes after that and challenge what comes after it. Because who says so? Who says we should go to Aunt Susie's house? We've done it many years, but maybe somebody else would like a turn. And who knows, maybe Aunt Susie would like to have a break. The holiday season is a wonderful time for you to consider starting new traditions. And I learned this lesson a number of years ago when I made the decision for my own self-care to stop cooking turkeys on Thanksgiving. Because it was a lot of reasons. But when I made that decision, this huge weight came off of me. And it changed my experience of Thanksgiving completely. And I learned very quickly it changed the experience for my kids too, my adult kids, because there were so many shoulds and oughts, and there was so much around it that when we took that away, we started to have fun. So think about the existing traditions that you've had. Which ones do you want to keep? Which ones do you want to let go of? Talk to your family. Maybe they want to switch things up this year and get rid of some and add some new ones. It's worth having the conversation. And by the way, most of the information that I'm giving you here today, I've either accumulated through the years, but guess what? It's validated because I pulled it straight from the CDC's website. What? So, this information, a lot of it is stuff that we know that we just need to have gentle reminders of, or permission to do. It is okay to change some of your family traditions to create new ones and to give your other family members an opportunity to create some of their own to bring them into your life this year. So, chew on that one. Now, most of us know that throughout the rest of the year, exercise is a good thing, being physically active. And a lot of times physical activity drops off during the holidays because we're so busy going and visiting and shopping and doing and fulfilling obligations. And we forget that staying physically active is one way that helps us to reduce stress. And it doesn't have to be like going to the gym to work out all the time. Goodness knows, I'm not a gym bunny. Anybody who knows me knows I am not a gym bunny. But I work really hard to find ways to get out and move some because it helps to reduce my stress. It helps to raise endorphins just in general. And just a quick walk around the parking lot, walking the stairs. When I'm at home, we have a very long driveway. And I will go out at night and just walk because it helps me to woosah. So when you're out and about and maybe you have to travel out of town to visit relatives, removing yourself to go get a little quick exercise. It doesn't have to be much. This isn't an hour commitment or a half hour commitment, just 5 or 10 minutes. Some is better than none, right? It's going to help. It helps to bring your stress level down, and ultimately you will feel better. Now, the opposite end of that continuum is remembering that you do need rest. You need to restore. You need that rest in order to renew. And it's okay to push pause. It's okay to look at your schedule and to, like, for instance, the example I gave earlier today is I know that over the next 3 days, I am committed. I have obligations. I have things that I want to do, but they are obligations. And several of them are taking up big chunks of my time. And that takes a lot of energy. And so already I'm looking ahead. I'm planning ahead for my self-care to carve out time here and here and here for my own rest in order to be renewed and restored so I can enjoy myself. Taking the time to plan ahead as much as you can, knowing glitches happen. Things don't always go as planned. You know, you expect the unexpected and you're prepared, right? So, but resting as part of your holiday planning needs to be included. Because we know everybody is so good at scheduling and shopping list and meal planning and all of that stuff. But lots of people, most people, forget to plan for rest. Unless you've got a chronic illness where you know you have to do that and include it in your planning, most people don't. And it starts to add up, especially the cumulative effect over several days. So you have family visiting and they want to go down to the theme parks and they want to go here and there. Well, several days of that, most of us get really tired. Build in some rest time. And everybody will be much happier because of it. Trust me on that. You'll be happier and so will the people around you. One of the other things that we tend to forget to do during the holiday season is we forget to do this very simple thing, and that is to stay hydrated. Okay, we forget. Anybody who knows me knows that I carry my water with me pretty much everywhere I go. I'm pretty obnoxious about it. But the reason I do that is I know the impact that I have if I don't remember to hydrate. This one thing is that if you remember to drink water before you go to your holiday parties, when you're at your holiday parties, it is going to help you to reduce the amount of food you're eating. You'll be more mindful of what you're eating. You'll also probably be more mindful of what you're drinking. And so one of the ways that you can be more mindful of your alcohol intake is to plan ahead and to remind yourself and anybody who's with you that, hey, I'm planning on just having one drink when I go. I'm going to swap it out for seltzer water or just plain water or iced tea. Have those conversations before you go. And then your partner, family, friends who are with you can say, hey, remember you were just going to have one, right? But if you just commit to drinking water, it's going to help across the board. Also, just a gentle reminder, if you're a woman, remember 1 alcoholic beverage a day. If you're a man, no more than 2. That has to do with weight and size and all of that. So just file that away. Hydrating, staying hydrated is going to help you to feel better in general. Now, when you are with your family, most of us are going to be with our family or friends. Set the expectation. Oh, wait, we talked about realistic expectations, didn't we? Yes. When you're with family and friends, let's be realistic about the expectations that we're placing on them and ourselves when we're in their company. Also, if you haven't spent much time with your family throughout the holiday or throughout the rest of the year, consider that maybe the holidays are not the best time to try to make up for lost time, if you know what I mean. You can't cover all the relationship bases in just a couple of days of visiting. But also, if you don't really have family for most of the year, or maybe there's an estrangement, be realistic. Plan ahead for your own self-care. Take your power back by planning to invite your friends over to your house. Plan your own self-care through engaging in maybe volunteer work. The more you can plan ahead realistically, factoring in all of the truth of your life through the holidays, the better. And if the truth is, listen, I really don't have much of a support system, let's talk about that. And maybe you need some help with that. Behavioral health can help you with problem solve those kinds of things. So just consider that. When you're with family, one of the conversations that the CDC recommended that I truly had never seen before, and I think it's a really brilliant idea. I encourage people to, when they are with family members, especially distant relatives or people that we don't really see or know very well, or elder members of the family, is to ask them historical questions about their lives. Well, the CDC threw in an added bonus, and they said, ask them health history questions, because it can add to your health history information when you go visit your doctor, because you may not have an opportunity to get that information any other way. I thought that was a very clever piece of information, because it had never truly never occurred to me that might be something to bring up. But yeah, it's pretty important to have that. Remember also that when you're with people during the holidays, the focus needs to be about quality time versus quantity. It's the quality of your interactions. It's the quality of the moments. And when we are realistic and focus on that part, it takes the stress away, because at that point we go, Aunt Sally has a house full of tchotchkes. She has all the socks and bathrobes and pajamas that she needs. Does she need another tchotchke? No. What would Sally really like? Probably time with her niece or nephew. So when you pause and reflect on what truly matters, most of us come up with the same answers. We just don't give ourselves permission to do them. Most of us come up with the answers of time and attention and cherishing the moments that we have. And that includes those quiet moments when we push pause for ourselves. Just before we came on here, I was talking very briefly to Corey, and I think it was Brittany in the background. And I said I had just made me a cup of coffee. I've had a crazy busy day, and this is an ordinary cup of coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. It makes me happy. But you know what? It makes me happy. And so I didn't have a whole bunch of time to woosah and meditate and breathe or go for a walk around the parking lot. I had enough time to make a cup of coffee with the cream that I like in a cup that I like. It's at just the right temperature. And I had time to have a few sips before meeting with you guys. Now, I could have rushed right through that and not noticed any of that. But I appreciated every second. And while I'm talking to you guys, I'm appreciating the scent of the coffee and the feel of the warmth under my hand. These moments don't have to be big deal moments. It doesn't have to be fireworks and glittering symphony with glitter and symphony music behind us. It doesn't have to be those Hallmark moments. Tiny moments, when you notice them, fill you up. And when we can find the way to do that in the hustle and bustle, in the noise that is always built into the holidays, that's where we find our happiness. So I'll challenge you to start practicing in these days ahead of time. These days that you're preparing for the guest or the trips or going to Aunt Sally's house. Because your well-being is the foundation, period. Nobody else can take care of you but you. And so looking at your family and saying, you know what, I need just a minute. I'm going to go outside. Most of them will be grateful that you take that minute for yourself. Focusing on some pretty basic things. The 12-step programs use a lot of acronyms to help people to remember some important concepts. And one of them that they use is the word HALT, H-A-L-T, HALT. And HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. When you're able to pause and check in with yourself and ask yourself, I'm feeling out of sorts. What do I need? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? Asking yourself these very basic questions helps you to address physical needs, emotional needs, and sometimes spiritual needs. But we have to pause long enough to check in with ourselves to ask these questions. So your cue can be, if you're feeling stressed, to stop in that moment and ask yourself, what do I need? Oh, wait a second. Lisa said HALT. What do I need? Am I hungry? No. Am I angry? No. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm just tired. Okay. All right. So, instead of staying up to watch that documentary that I really wanted to finish tonight, I need to turn everything off at like 9:30 and go to bed. It's simple stuff, but taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually, that's part of the foundation for our well-being in general, not just through the holidays, but sure enough, if we pay attention to these things when we go through the holidays, we're going to be able to appreciate them so much more. Now, the hungry on here does not mean that you go get to have a second helping of the pie that you're not supposed to eat in the first place. It means taking care of yourself, because when we get busy, we forget the basics. So this is a good way to remember that. HALT. The other thing, truly sleeping, getting good sleep. That's why the T is there. Remembering to stretch and to breathe and to meditate, doing those things for yourself. Eating healthy when we want to, get that second helping. I had somebody tell me earlier today, somebody who's working very hard on making positive changes in their life. And she said, Lisa, I think I get it now. Instead of seeing it as I'm denying myself something, I'm looking at it like I'm giving myself something. Now, there's a lot of wisdom in that. She has figured out that it's not denying herself to not be able to go pour another drink or eat that other bad food. And no, she is giving herself the gift of health. She is giving herself good feelings by making other choices. So when you're feeling tired, take the nap, push pause, take a break, go look at the sky, do what you need to do to fill up. When you're feeling lonely, reach out, connect to your community of support. Loneliness is a cue for connection. And if you find that your support isn't around you the way that you need it, ask for help. We do that a lot in behavioral health. We help people figure out how to build support systems as part of what we do. A lot of people are members of faith communities that are very active, not just during the holidays, but the rest of the year. Connect, volunteer. Lots of people need volunteers throughout the year, not just now. If you're feeling angry, that's something that you might need to talk to somebody about. Usually there's a lot underneath anger, and that's an emotion that's trying to tell you something. So whether it's to somebody in behavioral health, we have wonderful EAP opportunities, employee assistance program people, for you to talk to, or a good friend that will be willing to be honest with you. Talk to somebody. Journal. Journaling is a wonderful thing. And if you're hungry, take care of that. So physical, spiritual, and emotional health across the board is what we're talking about for having a healthy holiday season, but also carrying that into the rest of the year. I've really enjoyed having the opportunity to talk to you guys today.
Many of our wellness groups, Florida Healthcare Plans has an EAP, but you can reach through your HR department if you think you need some assistance. And I'm not seeing any other questions. So Lisa, again, thank you so very much for sharing. It's great to have you as always, and we so appreciate your time here in the wellness department.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys all have safe, healthy, happy holidays.
Thanks. Thanks so much. All righty. Well, thank you all for joining us today on the call, and we look forward to seeing you in the next year. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.